Are you going to be happier or unhappier in 10 years? Now, most people watching me are optimists. Most people think they're going to be happier at 38 than they were at 28. And the reason is because they have these goals and they think that they're going to meet their goals. Most people think they're going to get happier as they get older and it's going to reach a max point and then it's going to head back down again. The truth is exactly the opposite. Most people, on average, they get a slight diminution of their happiness from their early 20s until their late 40s or early 50s. But it's like 8 to 7 on a 1 to 10 scale. It's just not a huge problem. Noticeable, but not horrible. Then in your early 50s, it turns around and you start back up again. And almost everybody actually gets increasing happiness from their early 50s until about 70.
Are you seeing this? This is the happiness curve. This is what I'm like. Here I am right here. I am 45. I'm actually 46. It's like, this is so real. This is so real. This is what I've been telling every damn kid that comes through. I'm like, this is so real. And I can say so because I'm actually right here. Like, well, I'd say my low point was probably in my mid 30s. And so that's why I'm thankful as hell that I've had my low point in my mid 30s, and thanks to UP, I was able to speed that way up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the whole point of UPs, okay? See that little down at the bottom, which a lot of times in a lot of these graphs, it's a little bit later. It's like 55, sometimes even as close as 60. 45 is a little generous. That's a little on the early side. Again, what the hell do I know about data? But what I see from watching these other crazy guys, right? So if you can have your midlife crisis in your mid 30s, fucking beat that. Let's see you at the bottom of hell in maximum depression, anxiety, and hate yourself and want to fucking die at 25. If you can fucking pull that shit off and then start to pull up, now look how much more. That's just where it's going to exponentiate. That's going to be an exponential curve. By the time you're in your 70s and 80s, you're going to be a whole new generation of self-growth. Because think about this, like if you live like the Bible times where we lived to be like 500 years old, like, God, my life would be fucking kick-ass by the time I'm 300. I'm just now starting to figure shit out. And I don't have a whole lot of time left. Imagine getting it figured out way over here. So that's the biggest thing with ops, which is why we're telling people, look, I know this is going to sound weird, but if you're 21, 22, 25, you need to put the gas pedal on being a fucking idiot. You got to hurry up because you can't jump over. There is no jump over. You can accelerate the crash down. You can get the crash more intense, more worse, and over with sooner if you really lean into the punishment. Don't throw it away. If you're young, you want to get pound for pound, you want to get the most out of each painful rep. Really squeeze it. Get the most out of the hard shit you're going through. Right? Because if you start really doing that here, that moves this thing right over here, right over here. That's what's been exciting to see. That's the biggest thing I'm asking when I get to know people. I'm like, all right, how old are you? And where are you on the curve? And you can kind of see where they're at. Like, oh, so you're over here. Or if they're like, yeah, I'm a dumbass. Yeah, like, you're over here. Now, they might only be 2 years into this, but there's a noticeable change of a before and after when the person has hit this.
One of the things that actually gets better and better and better as you age is your expectations about the future, because you understand how things work.
Yes.
There's this tyranny that people don't understand until they're usually a little after 50 years old. They think that if they get that thing that they want, they're going to get it, and they're going to enjoy it, and it's never going to go away.
Stupid
and then
kids.
It does. They also think that if something bad happens to them, that they're going to stay in a bad mood or sad or angry or afraid forever. Here's what you learn after 50. Nothing lasts and it doesn't matter. There's a thing that all biologists talk about, which is homeostasis, the tendency of every biological process to go back to its equilibrium. Well, it works emotionally as well. Your anger, your sadness, your disgust, your fear, your joy, your interest, those things don't last, for good and for bad. Your heart is broken, it won't last. When you figure that out, this is power. And if you harness that, every year's better than the last.
So look at this happiness curve here. Does this mean only the worst thing? The worst event, this is how the kid brain interprets it. Oh, well, the worst event happens to me here, and a bad event happens here, and a bad event, and a good event. Like, hey, you're not getting it. No, your worst event ever is usually actually over here. All your friends and family die, you get cancer, your dog's dead. On and on, all the bad stuff's gonna happen over here. Nothing bad happens over here. You're a fucking kid. You haven't seen jack shit yet. It gets way worse over here. You learn to get out of the handcuffs. So there's not no more handcuffs, right? So depression, anxiety, bad times, hard times, jobs, relationship, they shackle you up with anxiety and depression. And you're waiting for the jailer to make a mistake. You're waiting for an accident. You're waiting for a fucking tip. You're waiting for a book. You're waiting for a video. You're waiting for something outside of yourself to save you in some kind of a one-to-one way. And a lot of times that happens. Like the handcuffs just broke and you got out, but then you get caught again. And eventually what happens, like when you get the chicken pox, it's like once you learn how to pick the locks, you're like, do it again, motherfucker, I'm out. Do it again, motherfucker, I'm out. So it's like the depression, the anxiety, the everybody hates you. It just keeps piling up as you get older. But your ability to go, look, there was a time when I was younger, my 30s and 40s, that I sat there in hell, consciously stared at everything with nothing else to do and went, I have to figure out how to get my dumb ass out of bed when I feel horrible, when I feel negative, and how do I make this thing move? This is what Wes Watson talks about. I heard Goggins talking about this yesterday. He's like, when you figure out all of the little details of like, not only your health, I got to eat this, I got to do this, I got to get up at exactly this time, I have to do this morning routine, not that morning routine, I got to listen to this music, not that music, I got to do my jobs this way. Wait, don't open your emails here, open your emails there. That makes a dramatic change on your day. This is what I'm realizing. Still open your emails. Just don't do it before your important writing when your brain gets all fucked off. Like, oh my God, like these little things, they just keep adding up. And all of a sudden you know how to work this stupid thing.